I absolutely feel more physically fit and more stronger by swimming in the cold, and I don't get sick.
You can burn a crap ton of calories.
It's like a drug because you actually feel like this amazing sense of euphoria.
As an exercise enthusiast, this year, I, like many others, am faced with an important decision. Either slug through the monotony of at-home workouts, risk catching COVID-19 inside a stuffy gym, or endure the discomfort of exercising outside in the cold. Recent research regarding exposure to mild cold stress, temperatures ranging between roughly 10 to 18 degrees Celsius, reveals there may be greater health benefits associated with exercising in the cold.
If you were to put yourself into a cold environment, we would experience in our vasculature something known as vasoconstriction. This, in fact, would result in the heart having to work harder to pump blood to the muscles, especially if we're doing aerobic activity like cycling or running.
Or swimming. But the cold alone is not the elixir.
When it comes to cardiovascular benefits and strengthening the heart, it does not necessarily matter the environment that you're in, it is more so intensity. Can cold stimulus be one of those stressors? Absolutely.
Similarly, claims regarding an improved immune system or enhanced mood because of the cold aren't necessarily a result of the cold itself.
Persons who are on higher amounts of vitamin D or have higher amounts of vitamin D will have less anxiety and depression. So if you're outdoors running in the cold, exposed to sunlight, you will be able to get higher vitamin D levels in your system that you typically would not see working out indoors and during shorter days.
Dr. Gallo does mention that cold exposure alone is enough to trigger our fight or flight response, releasing hormones like adrenaline and thus increasing our sense of alertness.
I feel more alive in the most literal sense when I'm done swimming in the cold than I do any other time.
The first and only gym of its kind since opening in 2018, Burn Fitness, a boutique gym in New York City, sets its temperature to as low as 10 degrees Celsius to recreate this livened experience.
The reason why cooler temperatures or working out in cooler temperatures improves athletic performance is because your body fatigues less quickly.
And the difference is when you exercise in a slightly cooler environment, there is less need for the body to expend energy metabolically to cool your system.
The most exciting claim in the science of cold-based exercise is that exposure to the cold turns your white fat into brown. Human beings have two types of fat tissue or adipose, white fat and brown fat. White fat is responsible for storing and supplying energy to the body. Brown fat is responsible for generating heat when our bodies are exposed to the cold, a process which requires greater caloric expenditure. We have more brown fat as infants and lose most of it by the time we are adults.
There are many studies showing that when we are exposed to cold-based exercise, we have an increase in gene expression for brown fat. Brown fat has very high metabolic activity associated with it. So brown fat absolutely can contribute to higher metabolism.
But before we all start doing laps in freezing cold water or running shirtless through the snow,
a large majority of the studies focusing on brown fat have been conducted in animals or animal models. Two problems there. In animal-based studies, it's sometimes difficult to provide application to humans. And when we look at the amounts of brown fat in adults, it is difficult to give an exact norm range of how much brown fat there typically is.
Exactly to what degree adult humans activate brown fat during exercise is still largely unknown. As for me, I'll take about any extra help burning more calories that I can get.